Yes, they have that one loss to Gen G, but that was kind of a fluke, I feel like. You know, Gen G are very strong, but HANWHA were not ready on that day, did not have a great performance. But now it's about NONGSHIM up against them. We're going to see Yone banned away from this team, as it's by pretty much everybody, even after the quote-unquote nerfs.
Wow, Vi and Sejuani, so Jace Gwyn definitely going to be rising to the top. We'll see if they drop that Callista ban. Does end up being a little bit awkward, though, if you leave both the Jace and the Gwen, as the Gwen will actually be banned by NONGSHIM, interestingly. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to be careful around Zeus if you are Kingen. Kingen did throw us for the Diana top loop. I don't really want to see that again.
Yeah, I want to actually put a pause on the loop.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it on repeat a second time.
Can he just play Jace, you know?
Wow, a Talia ban towards Calyx here.
Both are available now, the Callista and the Jace. I think you have to pick Jace.
I would rather see Jace as well. Especially when you consider you have Jace and then you outrange the Callista with it.
Yeah,
from far away.
Don't give Zeus this pick. Like, okay.
They agree.
We're on the same page here.
We're taking steps to removing the Callista priority, the permaban Callista that's burned into every screen of every LCK watcher. In that top 3 bans you see on red side. I'm glad to see. Now, you don't even necessarily have to play Callista here. Talia is banned, however. See the AZIR to come through first. Poppy also going to feel very good into the Callista if it's locked right now. NONGSHIM Red Force can pick that up. I actually really like how both teams have just said, no, this isn't the place for the Callista here. Not in this Game 1 draft. And the Xin Zhao will be picked. So very tier listy draft so far.
Yeah, and AZIR and Xin Zhao work really well together, and I think that a lot of our teams have realized that Xin Zhao is one of the top, if not the best jungler on the patches. We're going to see Callista Elise.
The cool thing about grabbing Callista here in this spot specifically is they only get to pick one part of their bottom duo, so you can tear the rest of it apart. If they wanted to grab Poppy here, you could do a lot with that in the second phase. Going to be a Rumble to come through instead for HANWHA Life Esports. And now, you know, if you're playing Poppy into Elise as well, you're not feeling very comfortable about how that goes, just in general. Yeah, you're going to stop the Martial Pose pretty well, but otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a tougher matchup to play out, so the range support here does kind of shore up that weakness, and you get to have both when you're on blue side in that rotation, so this is where the Callista belongs, in my opinion, Valdez, right where NONGSHIM put her.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a very strong pick, but, you know, blindable, B1, not 100% sure, especially with so many other strong picks in the meta currently. Like, even the AZIR is, to me, like, I see that and I'm like, oh crap, they got AZIR. Like, that's gigantic, and now they get to ban even more mid stuff. Like, what is Calyx gonna play? Do they ban away a Sylas as well? How deep do we have to dig into Calyx's pool? It's gonna be the Corki.
That's an interesting one, as it's been a pick he's played obviously a lot in past Corki metas. I wonder if they're considering as well, this could be a Jace mid pick that could be played out into the mid lane into the AZIR, but you won't get counter pick for top if you do that. So I mean, I suppose the Rumble is already locked in. They could try to play around that a little bit.
Play like Aurora.
Yeah, it's tricky though to actually set that up.
So it's a weird comp for sure. That happens. I
think that the Caitlyn and Ashe bans both make sense. Those are 2 champions that can actually kind of go toe-to-toe with the Callista. Otherwise, you're like looking at Raven Renata or something like that, you know, something kind of insane. Playing Rakan into this is going to be a challenge for sure.
Yeah, Rakan comes out. You could even pick up Poppy Jungle if you really wanted to.
One of the safest picks here, I feel, for NONGSHIM is just to grab Victor. You know, and just say, like, we have consistent damage with that, and it's a decent lane into the AZIR.
Yeah, I think he needs something that matches the AZIR. Calyx's Sylas has been comfort for him. He is a very strong Sylas player.
Yeah. And they've got a lot of great ults to steal for him already, too, in this draft. And now we'll find out what that final jungle pick is going to be here. I don't think it's going to be Sylas, so... All right, well, Jace? I think it's going to be Elise. The Fury has dropped massively in priority this week, specifically towards the middle of it as well. but does work well into Rumble. Can be pretty good into AZIR as well, because you can just avoid the Emperor's Divide. They're going to opt for the Draven, but not with Renata. Felt like they needed a little bit more engage in this comp. Even though they have AZIR and they have Xin Zhao, they opted to put Delight on his iconic Rakan. This lane can be extremely volatile when you look at how it plays out. If the Rakan just...
but it's also Lehen's on the lease, so that is really kind of scary if you're looking from the opposite side as a HANWHA Life esports fan. But I think this comp works a lot, you know, a bit tier listy. You know, they pick out the Draven last to deal with the Kalista lane. We'll see how it goes as we are ready. Game number 1 is ready to go right now. Let's hop onto the Rift.
미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
So Gideon isn't playing the hot dog skin. Do we need to remake or?
No, it's actually preferred this way for me.
I think he should play the hot dog skin.
Well,
Otherwise, I don't even. Why would he even play Nefiri? What's the point?
can you imagine a dog that has, or wolf, or canine for that matter, that's got mustard in its fur?
미니언들이
Come on.
생성되었습니다.
That is, yeah, that's kind of a
Who's gonna
bad
clean?
visual.
Who's gonna clean that up?
I mean, you could always just jump in the river, you know, dogs
That was
swim.
that was my first thought, to be honest. After
Yeah.
I posed the question.
Is
No.
one of her emotes where you like roll on the ground as well, like on your back? I feel like it's doable.
That's cool that Calix starts the sweeper and actually gets the ward cleared out right before Gideon goes in, so doesn't really end up being any value for that here for HANWHA Life Esports.
Not sure if Calix wanted to hit those chains. As we got to trade down the bottom lane. Not much of a trade for NONGSHIM as Ju takes a massive chunk. I think that's also a matchup we haven't talked about too much is Ju into Viper. Like, Viper is a top class world champion. He's really in form right now as well. I feel like Ju is not really in form. Like, he's a good player, but he's not in form right now. And, well, they're not going to get the ward, but they got a great trade onto Delight. And I do worry for Ju in this matchup. We'll see what he can do.
You know, in a lot of ways, though, I think a lot of it's about Gio's judgment, and most of the plays are made by Lehen's in this matchup. You know, if he's the one who sets up the cocoon or layers that damage and gets the electrocute proc, you know, it's otherwise just Gio judging and positioning where he needs to be. He's already blown his barrier, which is a huge tool that you really want to have to win out the lane. Viper wasn't able to budget that in because there's a lot of CC he needs to deal with. He needs to deal with cocoon, so having cleanse is required. So you felt good that you had the barrier advantage, but you don't anymore because you lost it. Calix.
Yeah, going in.
Conquer.
I mean, this guy is good. Like, he knows how to play Sylas, especially. Like, that's, if I think about Calix, I think about Sylas. That's why I said it in the draft. He knows how to play the champ. But again,
A good matchup into AZIR.
he just needs to be able to play it at the level that ZEKA will be playing tonight.
Yeah, if it was,
Consistently as well.
if it was, you know, end of spring 2022 LCK, I'd be like, oh man, ZEKA's not that great at the AZIR. Like, this could go bad. But it's not that ZEKA. It's fully developed, insane, Giga Chad, super soldier ZEKA that can play anything now.
He really can play anything. There was a sign as well in the audience that said, ZEKA, show me your muscles. We'll see if we get some of that. We got it from Bull and Dagon.
True. And a little bit from Hype when he did the interview on the space. Small little, like, little Giga Chad thing, you know. But ZEKA, you can kind of see him even if he doesn't show him.
True.
He is approximately 8 feet tall. Approximately.
Yeah. What would 8 feet tall be in centimeters?
Like, don't do this to me.
240,
right? Yeah, 30 centimeters per foot. 240. 240. Yeah, it's 240.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was asking the question, because clearly I didn't know. I was gonna guess like 220, maybe. But yeah, he's pretty tall. Not that tall, actually.
Lehens has an opportunity, gets a cleanse.
Yeah, the cleanse comes out on the Cocoon, but Lehens is still going in. He's still going forward. He knows he has to repel, and Viper's getting low. Finally, the back comes out, but there it is. The first blood goes to Delight anyway. As he's in the bush, the knockup comes in, and a couple more axes get the job done. There was no escaping for Jiwoo, and it's just a 2v2 victory to HANWHA Life Esports.
The main thing about all of this is the fact that, well, there's two real big things. One, Viper obviously has cleanse, so that type of all-in is very tricky to pull off, and then they just had more health going into the fight, and without barrier, Jiwoo trying to push the envelope there is a little tricky. Actually, I guess he did have his barrier back up going into that fight, but when you look at it back, like, look at how Lehens goes in on this. Instant cleanse. Instantly. Does a ton of damage, but Delight keeps you out. All the spears on the second rend that he wants to get end up being on Delight, because Viper's out of rage now, so he can't actually do anything here. So he's just putting sticks into Delight, and Delight's too healthy, gets the knock up. Viper comes back in, can't transfer the spears, and so that's the kill. Even the barrier wasn't enough. I didn't realize he had that back up, but it's just what happened before is why that didn't work out, you know? Like, the lack of control over the lane. It was a nice opportunity that Lehens found. Like, he was able to see that, try to capitalize, but Glenn's still up.
Yeah, it was pretty close, you know, if Jiwoo could just get a little bit closer to Viper, but speed boost, I mean, this is part of why Draven is so good into Kalista. Not only do you win 1v1 trades very hard, okay, he's not gonna face check it, but the late is as the Cocoon comes down. This is Rakan though. Big chunk of damage. So they'll get him out, but that does mean that they can't fight for the grub.
Yeah, that feels really good while Gideon's taking the grubs, as you say. And Viper does not have cleanse anymore, so if he gets hit, he is just gonna die away from his turret. So now they can just kind of zone some farm away, comfortably take these grubs. And because Peanut was rotating up, they can't cross-map.
Uh-oh, there's the sweep. ZEKA in a bit of trouble, goes back in, and doesn't use it himself, actually. Waits to use the Emperor's Divide.
I guess didn't have full vision on.
Oh, Flash comes in. Forces the Flash. Calyx really testing ZEKA today.
Yeah, I thought for a moment he was worried about where Gideon was, but he actually had him tracked on the ward as...
well, yeah, he's getting ulted here. And there you go. That's why you save your...
Yeah!
There you go.
He's like, Gideon's not coming now, but he will come later. And I'm ready for it. So both Flashes down, both ultis down. And that gave enough time for Delight to come back to the lane, doing all of that. No big advantage found here on the top side, but 3 grubs do go over. And as I was mentioning before that fight broke out, Peanut was pathing top side, so didn't end up going for a gank bottom or, you know, didn't trade Dragon for it or anything like that, but they do have a lot of bottom control right now. We'll see if that does lead to the Drake, especially with Gideon's ult now being down. I think you feel fairly comfortable to start this after the scuttle. It's not up for it, though. ZEKA doesn't have TP, so, you know, he has to walk back to the lane. I guess that's a part of why he hesitated for a moment.
And it's pulling the Drake out. Did look like he was just going to run back and do his gromp, but yeah, eventually does begin it. And so they lose all 3 grubs, which NONGSHIM will be quite happy about, I'd say, especially with the Jace and mid lane that's going pretty well. But HANWHA Life Esports do get this first dragon. I said in the first series, dragons are kind of fake. Still believe that, but a little consolation prize. They also won the 2v2 in the bottom side, so that's the big difference maker right now for HANWHA.
Certainly. And you see Lehens interacting with the late here. Not really an opportunity to follow up just yet. Gideon's close to his ultimate. Calyx is coming over, so just going to take some vision away. And it could be some jungle that goes with it, as Peanut is too far away to contest. Gideon doesn't have vision of that, though. If they can kill the Draven early, I mean, that's kind of the MO. You know, that's kind of what you're looking to do when you are playing this type of composition. Don't let him get those cash-ins. Don't let him get accelerated.
Oh, Delight. Here we go again. The max range Cocoon comes through, but it's still Rakan. Knockup goes in on the Lehens. There's the charm. They want to try to all in onto the Elise. Lehens very low, but the follow-up here from Viper a little bit slow. They're still going to use the Fate's Call, and Lehens goes back in. And this is in a lot of danger, but they have the backup, and down goes ZEKA. Will trade his life for it, but they give a kill over to Nefiri with that play. Nicely done by NONGSHIM.
Yeah, really well played there. And the ult coming through from Calyx, stealing Delights at the final moments there, getting in to deal some additional damage. So NONGSHIM now on the board, getting that Nefiri kill. the end of the day, still 1,000 gold behind, though. I need more than this. I really appreciate, though, the attempted usage of that topside control of the jungle, trying to fish for those picks, trying to look for a favorable fight. This is a greedy teleport. Don't go unpunished.
Yeah, I mean, Calyx is punishing as much as you possibly can. Take another look at this.
And the fact that the Sylas can't get here right away means that this is a playable fight here for HANWHA Life. Delight tosses in the ult. Peanut is here. Repel gets Lehens out, and they turn the fight. Really nice Fate's call here as well. The Draven ultimate actually nearly getting a cash in there. Lehens, though, still incredibly low. They flash for him. That does, of course, leave ZEKA isolated. So, well played on both sides.
Yeah, keep in mind Viper had a big wave under his turret, so he was kind of hesitating. Do I help out? Do I come into the fight? Do I stay under the turret? And he kind of went back and forth a couple of times, so I think the worst of both worlds in that case.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you.
But it's fine. You know, he's not far behind. He's still got a gold lead, hasn't died.
That's the key. That's the main thing.
Clearing out all the vision. HANWHA wants these grubs.
I hadn't really like locked in and paid attention to it until just now, but it is a Ghost Blade first on the Kalista. So looking for a little bit more lethality, a little bit more poke variant on this one.
A lot of Ghost Blade by many different champs nowadays. As they're going to fight for this one. Smite does come through from Peanut early. Calyx is in the thick of things. He's got the Xin Zhao ult. Meanwhile, ZEKA once again isolated on the right side. He's just going to go down, but they do get the kill onto Calyx for trading mid laners. Look at Zeus finally showing up to the fight. He's just burning Ziyu down. Goes extremely deep for that, though. Nearly loses his life to the doggies there at the end. And guess what? Kingdom wasn't even a part of that fight, and still it was close.
Yeah, was very close. And he's not anywhere near to getting this turret, so he's not going to be getting first brick off of the play while he sits down here. A little bit of plate gold does go over. Good target selection there by NONGSHIM, but it feels like it's just, they're almost able to turn these plays into really great successes. Wow.
He wanted the punish so badly. I mean, if he got baited by Lehens.
If you give a cash in like that, I mean, the coaches will be having a word. As Calyx has the Xin Zhao ultimate, like you mentioned, ZEKA is isolated here. It's a really nice repel. Kill goes over to Lehens, but unfortunately, that ultimate does time out. Zeus goes deep for this and did use his flash, so he's not going to be feeling great about that, even though he does ultimately survive here because it's not enough damage to take him out on the turnaround there. But the grubs do go to HANWHA Life Esports. As Delight he's out there, but he's fine.
Yeah. Viper did get the kill onto Calyx, so enjoying some extra gold in his back pocket. And he's got a Ghost Blade too. So we're moving fast, and we're enjoying this item quite a lot in this matchup. I mean, we've got a Ghost Blade on Jace as well. See that a lot nowadays. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
ZEKA's getting bullied this game.
Yeah, Kingen is coming over here looking for an aggressive trade, forces ZEKA's dash, and they have a ton of control over this Dragon Pit right now. It hasn't spawned yet, but it's about to, and HANWHA Life Esports trying to brute force the way into this, I think, is not the best or ideal option. Zeus does not have TP. It was rotating down, but remember, this is a Kalista composition, so you know, if you think about it too long, the Dragon will just be gone. But as HANWHA Life walk away, NONGSHIM just decide to put Kingen in this bottom lane, grab another plate, don't commit to the Dragon. As dragons aren't real, I guess, Valdez.
Yeah. They're not real.
Jace, it could be real.
I mean, Kingen has flash, but I don't know if he gets away from this one. As the follow flash comes through from ZEKA, it is very textbook. As he goes in and gets a kill. ZEKA, he got bullied the whole game, and old brother Peanut comes in to help him out.
I mean, HANWHA had so much vision around the Dragon, so they knew NONGSHIM were not there. They left, and Kingen was pushed up way too far on his own. Lens comes down here for a potential punish, but it's too late. So ultimately, HANWHA just get the Dragon. They don't have to win the team fight. They don't have to wrestle Cryo away. They just watch NONGSHIM walk out, get a kill on Kingen to say thank you very much. So now 2 Dragons to lead for another Chemtech Soul.
Having so many this season.
Yeah, it's kind of suspicious.
I mean, there was the one day where we had like 5, right? Didn't that happen? Am I?
Yeah, no, it's, I mean.
And now we're having 2 today.
Curses aren't real, but Chemtech stats
they
are. Well, I mean, Chronicler says curses aren't real is what I meant to say. Oh, they're definitely real. But the Chemtech numbers are. Don't run them. It might mind boggle.
Yeah. Staggering.
Yeah, that was a close call on that cocoon, but cleanse was available.
Well, Hens is also playing the skin where the cocoon is like tiny, and I feel like it's harder to see, for me at least.
I could feel you on that one.
Yeah.
For us, mere mortals, non-pro gamers.
Well, speak for yourself.
I mean, in Viper's case, he didn't get hit by it. He knew the range perfectly. You know, he's like,
Yeah.
why are you even tossing that at me? That doesn't reach.
At a certain point, as you mentioned, it's like you just know the circle around the enemy champ where you can stand.
Yes.
You know, and some of our less experienced players, you know, hype from the first series, right? Standing in range of the Nautilus Q.
Yeah. I mean, watching
stuff like that.
the difference between that and watching Chovy dance around the Yone in lane on the Victor, you know, obviously experience does factor a lot into this. And Viper, he's got that in spades. Feels like it was not that long ago when he debuted, but time does fly. It's been a really long time.
Yep, he's one of the Griffin originals. He also did play Teemo 80 carry. I feel like I'm, you know, just listing off my trivia chart of Viper.
Yeah, now he is world champion, as you mentioned earlier. He's been on so many different teams, played in 2 different regions. He's been the top of both. And so, yeah, he knows the cocoon range.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to say. A very long-winded way of saying.
I like to glaze a little now and then to just explain that, you know.
Yeah, he knows what Elise does. Yeah,
I think he's familiar with her kit, yeah. Both of them.
Played against it a couple times.
Yeah. Well, this is not looking good for this turret. The turret, chances of turret survival looking minimal. But in exchange, a Herald goes down, so if they go for the bottom turret with that Herald, its chances of survival are minimal. The mid and top turrets, though, are very healthy. And there's not a ton of control. They could try to hard force here and look for a dive, but it's an AZIR with Emperor's Divide. Doesn't have any teammates yet. His Delight isn't here. So they will actually successfully, knowing that bottom pressure was there, say, okay, there's not enough people here to stop this. ZEKA respects. As soon as you see ZEKA walking away there, too, you just know. So I think they already did. Second charge is risky.
He's going to go for it anyway. He goes untargetable, and, well, that's the power of Nefiri. Got that second charge in.
Did I say risky? I meant completely safe for this champion in particular.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him, so you can't stop him.
He's got that levitation in him.
Yeah. Why does the dog levitate anyway?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is the lore behind that?
Yeah,
Like, can we get a cinematic that explains that? Like, nobody understands. Maybe it's like agility, you know, like it's a very fast dog and he kind of...
Alice is going to be like, darkened dogs are known to levitate.
Well, he probably knows the name and he'd be like, it's in the name, guys.
It's not levitation, actually, technically.
Yeah. She's actually dodging all the bullets like Neo from the Matrix.
It's an extended jump. This is half of this turret gone, but the TP is committed.
Yeah, so ZEKA says, goodbye, Peanut. It was nice knowing you. And that's going to be a shutdown given over to Kingen. Meanwhile, the chase is still on. We got some axes flying in.
Oh, no!
Snipe is perfect!
You can't just back there where they last saw you, or you're going to get caught! He got caught!
He got caught.
Oh, how much gold? I guess we'll get the thing will come up and we'll know, but it was a lot. I can tell you guys that much. It was a lot.
Yeah, Viper has Collector as well, so it's just like the easiest.
So he also got 25 on top of it.
Yeah. He's collecting. And it's not bro tax that he's collecting, it's actual money.
Oh, man. All right, well, Peanut gets caught here. ZEKA says, I have a pretty nice dash, and the Fury is a targeted one. And then Kingen just insta-channels the back, doesn't walk at all. If he walks even a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, look at Viper, he's like, I know where he is. I might as well check it. He's watching it. 316. Not sure what the total gold ultimately ended up being there, but 840 total extra gold. It was covered. I was like, why they didn't show it to me? I wanted to see it.
It's a lot. That's a really big Draven. 2-0-2.
Yeah, 2,000 gold ahead now.
Does Ju get to play the game? I mean, you know, the Draven was the last pick, right? You don't often see the R5 AD carry, but into this comp, I feel like it's got a lot of ways to just chunk frontliners. As long as he dodges Jace poke,
Yeah.
and he's still going to get healed up by the Rakan. You know, I feel like this Draven, as long as it gets off the ground, it's going to be so good in this game.
I mean, it's levitating, as we put it earlier. It's off the ground. And Calyx.
Dua Lipa. All right, let's go in. Oh, the engage from Delight is beautiful, and from the team as well. And NONGSHIM, they just abandoned ship. They're just like, nope. We cannot fight this.
Such a beautiful play from Delight. It denies any sort of follow-up from NONGSHIM. They're just completely zoned away at Lehens. He may...
There he is, Repel again. He comes down. Very close. He was burning still a little bit.
Yeah, the lore on how the spider does that's a little bit more simple.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
She's got a wet, you know, she's got string. So Calyx goes in, steals away the Xin Zhao ultimate, which is kind of like what you want to do in this comp. That's why Sylas could be so powerful into Xin Zhao in general, because you go in and you're like, okay, well, they can't kill me now. Steal the Xin Zhao ultimate, very tanky. Delight, though, zones the rest of the team away in that moment while Calyx is untargetable, while he cannot be killed. That's when they want to follow up. That's when they want to make something happen. But Delight just says no.
Yeah. And then the immediate follow-up from Zeus was also very nice. You can see that HLE Esports, one of the best team fighting teams in the LCK, if not the best. I mean, it would be basically just them or Genji at this point. We do kind of have a top two in the LCK. But, yeah, I mean, they're just very smooth with it. And, yeah, it was good that he stole the Xin Zhao ult, because otherwise he would have died to Viper. As we saw in the replay, you know, the blades were coming out. He was ready for another cash-in, another execution. And he's almost got IE. So Viper, 21 minutes into the game, nearly has 3 items, including an IE.
He hits like a truck. There wasn't like any intended like.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, you're right. Wolf.
No, he just does.
I'm like, what is he trying to? What
no,
did Wolf mean by that? Mentioning trucks.
This wasn't one of those times.
What is he trying to say?
No one's unhappy. Everything's fine.
There's no drama here.
Yeah.
Okay, he got it.
Almost some drama, but he got the cannon.
I was very concerned.
Well, the game is still playable here for NONGSHIM, but it gets really challenging when you have no map control. You're trying to play this low-range comp outside of the Jace, right, which softens these players up, but they spent so much time in the side lane. Does have teleport, and because NONGSHIM are aware of this, I don't think HANWHA can actually commit, but because they're all here, they can just say, we'll take a turret instead.
Yeah, I don't think you can really try to turn this one around. Calyx standing under the turret by himself, already flashed, steals the Rakan ult just to survive, and has to flash as well. I mean, that's not... It's not what you want to see, although Peanut did have to flash as well, I guess.
Well, if you're a NONGSHIM fan, you're like, cool, successful, Otacon deny. But if you're a HANWHA fan, you're like...
is that the cope angle? I mean, I guess.
If you're a HANWHA fan, you're like, well, 2 turrets and a kill.
Just keep going. I mean, they don't have an angle here at all. And there's nothing here either. Zeus is like, I'm just going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get a nice little flank. Okay, well, now there's no TP. And Zeus gets a kill.
And a kill.
But they denied the Otacon.
They did deny the Otacon.
I'm glad you caught that, Wolf.
Yeah, it's just this comp is so difficult to play from behind. It really is.
Yeah.
And when you draft like this, and you're indexing into the Kalista, which, by the way, continues to struggle, although I do feel like this was a pretty good Kalista angle with what they had in the draft. When you have a Kalista comp and you're running the Sylas, you don't have consistent damage really in a team fight. You're kind of looking for Jace to lead in and then you follow up. It gets tougher. Now, if you have a
I think they get this
vision hole on the map and you can start this Otacon quickly, you're going to force a response here. Still not guaranteed. Viper's so far away, though.
Yeah.
Has his ult, at least.
Well, Zeus is going to find Calyx up 2 levels, and the rest of the team is just getting in onto Calyx so quickly. King and also getting incredibly low. Calyx is just out of the fight. He's not even part of this game. As in the rest of them go, Peanut lives for so long and gets the knock-up, dodges the shock blast, and it's a triple kill to ZEKA. Penta angle coming on in, making a quadra. We're just going to get another Penta today. ZEKA picks it up again.
Another penta for the man. 7 kills on the AZIR. You cannot do Otacon, say HANWHA Life Esports, and this Otacon deny, I feel like, was the big story. And now HANWHA Life just going to, after the clean ace, walk down the top lane and end the game. As simple as that. Volatile comps here against each other. HANWHA Life pull ahead. And beautiful team fights across the board. Delight looking so good on this Rakan.
Yep, it's one of the picks you can't give them. They could just hit the Nexus, but instead they go for the fight, and Zeus dies, which I believe is his